Hello everyone, welcome in. Hi there, I am Chef JT. How you doing today? Happy Friday to you. It's the weekend. I hope you're having a lovely finish to your week. Hello there, Soph. Welcome, JK. Hello, Will Poker. Hi there, Mimic. I keep trying to put the N in there. I don't know quite how to get it in there. Hey, Dragon. Oh, hey, that's why it's feeling a little dark in here. There'll be another steak on the counter today. I've got sweet potato to roast. We're going to be doing some roast Brussels with roasted bacon. And actually, I don't know if I'm going to roast the bacon or not, but with bacon. Yeah, I don't know what else we're doing there is there. Sweet potatoes. Oh, Brussels sprouts with blue cheese, bacon. Sounds like a good time. I've got some sour cream to mix in there with the blue cheese if the blue cheese isn't enough, but I got a decent hunk of blue cheese to use, so. Hello, Angry Rook. Oh, that isn't enough for a cup. I finished off a bag when I ground this earlier. Let me mute for the grinder real quick. Was a little too far under, and then I was a little too far over. Ooh. And it's always good if the kids can see you, though, too. Like, you know, if they put work, I don't know how much work the kids have put into it or not, but. But I hope you have a lovely evening. That falls under most of the things that you've told me you're doing with your kids, which. I'm picturing cramped auditorium. For me, it's like this. So with luck, I went out shopping today, and I might have everything I need for now through at least Monday. Get some sugar from my cup. They do sell discreet earbuds these days. And they are getting better with that because it's not a prescription anymore for hearing aids. So now you can get like selective hearing and noise canceling and just putting that out there. Appreciate all of you joining in with me tonight. Cheers. And the second one to a good weekend. I think we start by getting our oven going. Getting this bacon out. Bacon. unless you catch a good sale and cut it off of a whole rib roast. Keep forgetting that I'm out of 1 gallon bags. He says as he finds a 1 gallon bag box right in front of his fucking face. Arg. I've actually been thinking that I was out of gallon bags now for a couple of weeks now, and was waiting to take another trip to the warehouse store to procure some more. And I actually had already been once without remembering that I needed to buy more. And yeah, there was another box in the drawer already, cutesily turned in the opposite direction, and I've documented many times before how things seem to disappear right in front of your face in the kitchen. And this is not a thing I'm saying about myself necessarily, though this was an instance of that very much being true. It is very much a meme and joke in the kitchen world of, you know, the kitchen manager, the chef, is keeping inventory of a joint. He generally knows what the heck's in the walk-in. So when they tell you to go get something from the walk-in and you come back and say that it's not there, yeah, go back and look. Okay, so bacon's ready to go in the oven. Once the oven gets up to 400, we'll just throw it in there now. We'll give it a full 20 minutes since it's not fully up to heat. It'll take a couple minutes to get up to heat. I normally give it about 18 minutes on solid thick bacon, not the thin stuff, at 400. So you think I still have that label from like early December? Besides, they're not legally required to list the state anymore. They're not even legally required to list that it came from the U.S. I bought a whole rib roast for the holidays and cut it down. I cut 3 large steaks off of it, and this is the second of the 3. They all went in the freezer. For a minute there, we had laws saying that you had to say nation of origin for beef in the U.S., which basically all of it is from the U.S. It's all of the minor, smaller industry stuff that there's importing stuff involved with, or it's some secondary or tertiary product or something. the straight cut beef is mostly all coming from the big guys, and they're doing it as locally as possible to reduce costs. But yes, it was a beautiful thing for a short period of time, and then they got rid of that. And so now we have no clue where our beef comes from when we buy it in the local supermarket or whatever. If you're buying it in primals, many times you're lucky enough that it was factory sealed, and so you know exactly what factory it came from. But yeah, I didn't even bother for this. There's a lot of problems with American food that I have issues with, but I don't know which ones are the ones to worry the most about, because there's a lot of them. Okay, so I guess we're on to prepping Brussels. I get my Brussels in a little cutesy bag too. Though it's usually cheaper to buy them loose. I didn't like the way the loose ones looked. Hi, Alex. So we'll take small outer leaves on each of these off. And if there's any damaged or ugly stuff on them. Thank you for the follow. The really cool thing about those mesh bags, and I really like them, is it also means that in many cases, if they're selling the produce in a mesh bag like these were in, it was likely done by a business that's doing most of their food transportation with water conveyors. Which, I mean, if it's constantly flowing in a river of water as it's being processed, it tends to take a little bit more dirt off. Tends to, like, just in general. That can be a bad one too. Yeah, the last time I got Brussels, I got loose ones, and they were full of pests too. I did a Brussels sprout coleslaw or slaw, Brussels slaw. They were all holy, and not in the religious sense, like this one. This one's got some critters. Very light though, but there's at least one guy there. Yeah, that's hopefully the case. I don't know, some of the grocery returns at this point, like... The recall list is just getting larger and larger these days. And the recalls are getting bigger and bigger. Alright, so I already took a handful or two away, but that's all waste as far as this dinner is concerned. Taking a close look at these first three here, because these were the questionable ones that had obvious damage. I'm living with that. There's something living in that. It's getting roasted. Same thing there. Fresh cut on the bottom, slice them in half. Cleanliness sake, I should probably be doing this in 2 steps and using a clean knife in between them, because the fresh cut is going to get dirtiness. But hey, yellow. That's about the right height. Brussels come from my favorite veggies lately. Going to roast some this weekend with salmon. Then I'm going to attempt a beer blanc for. Was inspired by the sea bass dish I posted in Discord. Never done it before. Fingers crossed. Nice. Well, as far as Brussels, they're pretty easy to roast. Like, you can burn the heck out of them and they're still delicious. I actually like mine a little bit burnt ahead of time, just to forewarn people. If you don't like things crispy, tough. Yeah, beurre blancs can be tricky, especially if you haven't done them. They're no more like it's warm mayo, you know. It's basically, you know, it's in the same ballpark there of keeping an emulsion like hollandaise together, but you're doing it just with melted butter, and you're just trying to keep it from breaking. It is not very forgiving as far as time scale. Like, you need to make it, you need to serve it. It's not something that hot holds easy at all. It's horrible for restaurants and other than made to order sort of a thing. Relatively easy to do made to order though, because you can have the reduction done ahead of time and just add melt butter into it to order. But you're making it individually per order at that point. It's at the same time, I mean, it's something you're probably very familiar with. I'm sure you've worked with melting butter and keeping butter melted and the temperatures and all of that jazz, so I wish you the best. Ooh, commercial time. Six minutes on our bacon. Let's take a glance at that. Oh, those are looking nice. And I think I'm going to give them, let's give them the full 5. They're going to be crispy though. Let's get our sweet tater out. No, if it breaks, just call it an infused butter sauce. It'll be broken butter, but you'll still have all the beautiful flavor from whatever reduction you're using. Waiting for our commercial viewers to get back here, a little over a minute still. But we're going to be peeling potato, slicing potato, because I'm going to be roasting rounds of the sweet potato. Sort of trying to do almost like fondant potatoes, but in the oven. No sauce and butter though, but I'm sure we can add sauce and butter after. Dijon is a great emulsifier. I doubt it's going to bring butter back. Like an egg, I would say your best bet would be to start a second pan of slowly melting butter and emulsifying it back into the other butter. But I don't 100% give that chances of succeeding either, because I haven't, yeah. At the same time, I have worked at a let's call it equivalent of a diner, but it was a hotel, the fast casual restaurant of a hotel that kept 2 beurre blancs on their station, and they were able to keep them where, this was even before days immersion circulators. I was able to keep them warm on the line and keep them from mostly breaking most of the time. And even if they slightly broke, sometimes it was in the plastic bottle and you could get away with it most of it. Don't tell Chef that. All right, we're back. So, peeling sweet potato. I haven't done anything with the Brussels since anyone's been gone. It's like watching a power wash simulator stream, but in real life, but in actual work. No, it was more, as I remember it, the bottle would often break almost like there was like a drip of it broken, or it broke to the side of the bottle sort of a thing. And you could sort of put the bottle in the right direction so that it just mostly, or at least covered up whatever was broken on bottom. Crispy bacon. Crispy. All right, I am going to cut this into rounds. I'm going to give this a rinse off. That guy's still a bit high, and so I am going to have this one. Hey, Penta. Welcome, welcome. I'm chilling. I'm having actually a very relaxing Friday. Like, I disconnected this morning, got out and did things, did my shopping, got all that sort of stuff done, even though I'm working by foot. Yeah, got back, got stuff done. House is mildly cleaner than it was yesterday. Good stuff. I didn't touch physical grass. No, I'm sorry. I walked on a lot of sidewalk. I saw grass, saw trees. Though I can see trees and grass outside my window right here. Well, if they keep playing with the same dad joke next year at TwitchCon, you can go and touch grass from the giant dude on stilts just to look like I don't know what. Though I think with all of the holiday gift giving this year, they were doing everything as just straight from Twitch. They weren't doing Fairy Mod Mother. They weren't doing. I totally forget the other one that the grass one that I'm referencing. Yeah. And it is a convention, and it's probably been touched by 1,000 people. But, you know, you can do that. $400 Fahrenheit. I keep forgetting international. And I am absolutely not worried about the pans warping because I have been using these pans. They're all heavily cured at this point. Most of them are pretty well beat up. I wash all of them in a dishwasher rather than in a dishwasher machine, and so they all get banged and dented up as I'm scrubbing them. That time I put it in there before they were in there. I was saying normally I'll do 16, 18 minutes at 400 for thick cut bacon. Not the super thin stuff. But I went 20 with that because I threw it in the oven while it was still heating up. All the kitchen supply stores. This is sort of my general experience with kitchen supply stores. Most of them are pretty damn shady. I was considering a Penta. I didn't, though. No, that's just cooling down on top of the stove. I'm planning on reusing that pan and the grease in that pan for these guys. Do we have drippable grease? I think we do. I think we have drippable grease there. Drippable bacon fat. Oh, yeah. I missed why you were going into why you need to go to a kitchen supply store. All right, setting the bacon off to the side for a moment. It's still here. I'm sorry, it's not in your view, but it's there. Salt. Pepper. Ancho chili powder. Did I put onion in there? Onion powder. I honestly don't know how much that little nut thing was, as far as how many. Where did you go, little nut? It's disappeared. And I'm not going to dig into the trash more than I have already. Didn't go in the wrong side. It was a pre-bundled bag, so it probably was a pound. Though I don't know. No clue. That looks more than a pound to me, and it, yeah. I would say, honestly, online these days, get them shipped to yourself. I'm not saying buy them from Amazon. But, like, I would say probably the if you're going to an actual, like, I don't think any of the, like, kitchen supply stores really make any money on kitchen supply anymore. At least the ones around me are all, like, one step out of the used equipment business, and you know, are focusing on trying to rebuild people's kitchens and things like that much more than, you know, can you get me a couple of NSF spatulas? And I think they long ago lost all their stuff to online, but I think you probably break about even if you're going just from the actual manufacturer themselves versus a lot of kitchen supply stores these days. And that sort of is true for the smaller mom and pop ones too, I'm sorry to say, because like you look at Sur La Table and Williams-Sonoma, and you know, they got classrooms in their place, and they're trying to teach people and give people, you know, you did this with this knife and we did this with this pan, and I don't have experience enough in sheet pans. I've been using these ones well beyond their lifetime that they would be used in a proper bakery because they're all dented and bent up and discolored. Okay, so now we got bacon fat on those, but I think I'm going to add a little bit of extra oil on top of that to help get them fully coated. Wow, that went everywhere. That was a mistake. I just got my Stream Deck coated in oil. You'll note all the seasoning that's on there. There's no like light herbs. There's no real light seasoning other than maybe the onion there. It's all stuff that's going to mostly survive being roasted. Yeah, I really should put like a bag or plastic wrap or something over my stream deck. It's... yeah, let's not jinx myself. So we're going to go ahead and throw these on top of our pan here. Put them all cut side down. No stacking. Somewhat bunched but not cramped. Oops. Didn't switch camera views. There we go. So. I'm not loving the way this potato looks. I don't know what this is. This is not normal to a potato to me, sweet potato to me. I sort of tried to hide it to begin with by cutting the top off because the top was sort of funky. But I don't know what to do with this at this point because it's like emitting this like gray dark goo. You can see it's like shiny. Has anyone had this before? I think this is some sort of fungus or something. Like it's making drastic changes to this after I cut it. It could be natural. It could be... I just don't know sweet potatoes well enough. I'm not a sweet potato expert. Harmless milky white liquid sap latex that oozes from cut sweet potatoes, a sign of freshness and high sugar content, not spoilage. Do we trust Google, chat? Hi, Nanreer. Doesn't really smell like anything. Of course, my sniffer has never been a... Yeah, I have no idea if that's mold or if that's normal, but I think we're gonna roast it anyways and see what it tastes like. Where did I put the cap? It's not squishy. If anyone was wondering that, thank you for the follow. So I think we're going to go ahead and throw the potatoes in. I'm going to put those in the bottom. Set a 15-minute timer for those. Let's chop up some crispy bacon. Oh no, that piece broke off. I think so too, Saucy. It's the first time I bought this brand that I remember. I think I bought it back when I was trying a whole bunch of different bacon brands. And then the bacon brand I settled on changed. Beef. All right, what are we waiting on now? What do we got going now? Now I sort of want to drizzle those over the top. I guess I can chop a couple of those. That's way ahead of time. I think we're almost there. Other than waiting for things to roast. No, I'm not posting it to Reddit. Those would be chives. Quick, someone screenshot it. Where's the strays? That's not a stray at the end. Bench scrapers necessary, yes. A lot of people use their knife. And yeah, this is not going to kill your knife putting it against your board. This is about the worst you can do to your knife short of cutting paper with it, though, is going with the grain against the side of your board. And so I'm not perfect about it, but I do try and avoid that. That means you need to learn, not necessarily, but the way you remedy that is learning to butterfly meat pieces. Whether it's easiest one and cheapest one is chicken breasts, even though they're not really all that cheap anymore. But being able to feel that difference in a piece of meat, which sort of simulates your hand, and knowing where the knife is, you'll learn quick. Mine are far from beautiful. I cut most things small enough that you don't really notice. And it's not like I'm making them for consommé where it magnifies what I'm cutting. But, I mean, mine aren't terrible, but I'm not doing fine dining batonets and understandable. Yeah, I haven't been drinking a whole lot. I don't know if I've really... I don't know if I drank on the first or not. But other than the first, I haven't drank at all this year. And I am considering doing an Irish coffee night because National Irish Coffee Day is coming up here soon. I forget when that was on the calendar. I was looking at the calendar recently and added a couple of things. Got another 5 minutes until we start throwing these in there and we start getting going with other things here. What do I want to do as far as that? Yeah, we can use the same board. This wouldn't fly in a commercial kitchen, and it's not exactly what I would call sanitary, but I'm going to share this cutting board between my beef and bacon. For those of you who may be wondering why I'm saying this is unsanitary, this bacon is ready to eat in the food world. In the food world, ready to eat. Cooked. Don't want to get that cross-contaminated with raw proteins. I'm trusting that the 2-inch gap here is keeping me safe. Again, absolutely not something that would be done in a restaurant. That cares about food safety. Nah, bacon's just going to chill right there. We're going to be done with this steak pretty quick. Starting to heat a pan over here. At this point, I know a fair number of the Monty Python jokes, but I have never seen any of the Monty Python stuff straight through. I feel sad admitting that. But then again, I heard of someone that had never seen a James Bond movie before in their life, and now I'm a little confused. I ain't got no services for movie night. I got a couple movies, but I ain't got... This ain't a Netflix house. Unfortunately. So speaking of things picking up in the culinary world from restaurant apocalypse of the last 5 years, apparently there is a new Netflix, and there's been several recently new culinary shows, and Netflix has got one. There's another one that was done at the Culinary Institute of America. Okay, that was our timer, and we're gonna throw our Brussels in now. So the hype world of food and food TV shows and that stuff I see as once again making a little bit of a rise in viewership, or new stuff being made that's going to see lots of eyes. I'm out of coffee. That's the real downer to not having a vehicle. Is I've got a few things in my storage over there, but I've gone through all of my basic normal beverages already, because I don't keep a ton of beverages in the house because I'll drink them. Yeah, I'm down to basically coffee and water these days. People want to do Discord movie nights. I'm all for that, though, too, at the same time. I just don't have the stuff to do it myself. Have I ever made root beer at home? No, I don't have any sassafras. Though I do think that's an ingredient challenge right now. I think it's on the list of potentials. I've made mead at home. I've made mead as in MEAD, not meat captions. Which is essentially like doing wine. I've worked with people making beer, but I haven't done an actual beer batch of my own, and I don't have the more specialized brewing tools for doing that. I don't have a cooling loop or anything like that. And actually, I'm not doing any brewing right now because my current brew mug I'm using as my mop bucket. Ooh, we got a bit of smoke here with our oil. Our pan's nice and warm now. Time to start searing beefies. We gotta put some salt on there first, though. It's not getting reused for brewing, I'll tell you that. But that was the whole point in the first place. Alright, nice smoky pan. That means we're at least 525-ish. sunflower. I'm gonna finish it with oil or with butter. I should get that out. Oh, hey, I should get some butter in general out. Yep. I have one of the typical grinder. I've shown it on stream before, but the same gray one that just about everyone gets. I got the 20-degree one. And I have stones too that I occasionally use, but I'm not really sharpening knives to do a particular cut or anything anymore, so I don't really do that so much anymore. What is the name of this thing? It's on the other side. Chef's Choice grinder. It's a cost thing too. It was 120-ish off the top of my head, and that was years ago. I actually don't think I need this butter. I keep my knives somewhat sharp, but I'm not super strict on that either. Like, am I strict on anything? I am melting some butter. I'm going to add some sour cream to that butter I'm melting. You're going to have a trouble learning to properly cut unless you have a properly sharp knife. That said, if you know how to properly cut, even a dull knife will work. It's not as safe. It's more likely to cause cuts. It's not as fun to cut with. But there's certainly a level of learning to know the feel of going through those chives and know that you're cutting those chives rather than tearing or ripping them. Or the same thing with the tomato. Or like there is an actual like cutting action that you can feel through the knife that you're not just mashing this sharp thing through something. Yep. If I remember correctly, they're one of the really fine edge knife brands. And the finer and more brittle a knife is, the more you gotta sharpen it, and the worse it is to keep sharp. I'm gonna give that one more flip. Oh, nope, we're staying on that side. You can do garlic or rosemary if you want. I did garlic the other night, and you can tell it's there, but I'm just not bothering. There's the other side, the underside that was on the pan there. Well, yeah, you use the... That ain't it either. Yeah, you're doing that, you want to use one of these. Maybe one of these. Perhaps one of these. Butter, sour cream, chives. That's going to go with our sweet potatoes. Ooh, ad break. To actually cut the bone in half, a lamb, then you need one of these. That's my butchery hacksaw. That doesn't get used for wood, that doesn't get used for metal, that only gets used on meat and bone. Butter and sour cream and chives, sour cream. Just so everyone can keep track. Brussels looking gorgeous too. Pinto, that's a hacksaw. Just a hacksaw that I bought with the intention of using for culinary purposes. It's straight, very easily cleanable, wooden handled hacksaw. Completely comes apart. A little darker on bottom than I want to be, but not end of the world. I'm okay with that as far as coloring. We'll do this side up. Ooh, what am I doing as far as stacking these? Turn the oven off so I'm not sweating that all night. I guess we can reuse you. Well, like I said, I have never used that for anything you would normally use a hacksaw for. That has only been used for butchering. I bought that when I first started cutting up half pigs as an investment, as I'm not going to fit a bandsaw in here, which, by the way, butchers use bandsaws, if you haven't noticed that before, been around them. Yo! I guess that's surprising that pulled off for me. Such a small amount of plastic to hold on to. And we got some gorgonzola. So we get our sides sorted. Sounding like a British person now. I used up all my bread. I ate my bread yesterday and now I want more for that. Salty, seared, crunchy beef fat. Oh. Nope. Ain't got no bread. Piece of blue cheese fell down there. Couldn't let it go. I could have maybe made rolls tonight. You know what the off-cam play is? Is getting a bowl of the cheddar and sour cream chips and just drizzling it over the top of those. You know, we'll use board scraper and get all of it off of there, or spatula. Get all of it off of there. Isn't that supposed to be right up on the edge? Oh well, it is anyways. So there we have dinner, folks. Good dinner. I think this is going to be delicious. I already know the steak is. I already know the Brussels by themselves are. I know the sweet potatoes are mostly. I'll let everyone know what I think in Discord. Along with photos. Do even more green stuff on there. Let's see here, folks. Where do we go from here? Thank you for the follow. I think this is where we're going to leave things for tonight. I'm not seeing a great target. I shall be back here on Sunday for my normal Sunday stream. Sunday and Monday, 4:30 Pacific. Sunday, Monday, Friday, and Wednesday when we don't have ingredient challenge. We have ingredient challenge this week, chat. Let's see what we got in the calendar coming up here. We have Mojadera. The first time I'm trying making that tomorrow. The lentil and Middle Eastern lentil and rice dish with lots of caramelized onion. Going to be adding some eggs on top of that and doing a salad along with that. So that is going to be our plans for Sunday night. And then Monday night, I was, let's say, inspired. And we're going to do some chicken nachos, but I'm going to be making, I said I didn't have tortillas. I'm going to be making tortillas and frying my own tortillas. And I'm going to be doing it with chicken, with white queso, with, I have refried beans in the house, so we're going to do refried beans instead of like white beans. And yeah, so that is the plans for Monday. And then, like I said earlier, we got ingredient challenge on Wednesday. If you'd like to have a chance in the ingredient challenge and a vote in that, you can do so in the Discord. The link there is in chat right now. I hope to see you all back again. I hope you have a great weekend, everyone. Good night.